Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Welcome to the deep dive. Imagine two minds, maybe side by side. One feels clear, sharp, focused. The other, well, it's more like a tangled mess of threads, right? Foggy, maybe a bit scattered. Today, we're zeroing in on something that might just help untangle those threads. It's a compound called N-Acetyl-L-Cysteine. You'll usually just hear it called NAC. Now, NAC isn't exactly brand new. Doctors have known about it for ages. It's used as a pretty powerful mucolytic agent, helps break up mucus in respiratory conditions. And it's also, crucially, the go-to antidote for acetaminophen overdose, like Tylenol. But here's where things get really interesting for us today. There's this growing buzz, a lot of research actually, pointing to some pretty profound impacts NAC can have on mental health, on brain function itself. So that's our mission for this deep dive, to figure out how NAC does this. How does it support mood, tackle something called oxidative stress, and actually, protect your brain health? We're going to dig into what the science really says.
Yeah, and hopefully, by the end of our chat, you'll see NAC in a new light. It could potentially be like a missing piece in your own approach to mental wellness. Think of this as maybe a shortcut to understanding its complex benefits.
Okay, let's unpack this then. What is NAC, really? I mean, you said it's a supplemental form of the amino acid cysteine. That sounds, well, kind of basic. What makes this amino acid so important for our body and especially for our brain?
All right. It sounds simple, but cysteine, especially in this NAC form, is foundational. Its main job, the really critical role, is being a precursor to glutathione.
Glutathione, I've heard that called the master antioxidant.
Exactly. That's not an exaggeration.
Okay.
Think of glutathione as like the body's chief defense and repair molecule, especially in the brain. Its functions are vital. It neutralizes those damaging free radicals we hear about. It helps detoxify harmful substances, things your body needs to get rid of. And it's absolutely essential for keeping cells healthy, particularly those really active, vulnerable brain cells. So by taking NACC, you're essentially giving your body the direct building blocks it needs to make more glutathione.
Ah.
Yeah. It's not just patching things up temporarily. It's indirectly, but powerfully, strengthening your body's own internal defense system, helping it fight back against oxidative stress, against inflammation, even neurodegeneration from the inside out.
Right, strengthening defenses. So you mentioned oxidative stress. If NAC helps make more of this master antioxidant, what does that really mean for oxidative stress? It sounds a bit abstract. How does that actually, feel or impact us?
Yeah, and it can sound abstract, but it's very real biochemically. Think of oxidative stress as an imbalance. Your cells are constantly working, producing energy, and this process creates waste products, unstable molecules called free radicals.
Like cellular exhaust fumes.
Sort of, yeah. And normally, your body has antioxidants, its cleanup crew, to neutralize these free radicals. But if you get too many free radicals, maybe from stress, toxins, poor diet, or if your antioxidant levels are low,
then the cleanup crew gets overwhelmed.
Exactly. The free radicals build up. They start damaging important structures, proteins, fats, even DNA. It's like biological rust. And yes, this damage happens throughout the body, but the brain, being so metabolically active, is particularly vulnerable.
Okay, and here's where it gets, I think, really compelling for today's discussion. Our sources are saying this cellular rust, this oxidative stress, it's not just some background physical thing. It's directly linked to mental health, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's a critical link. The damage from oxidative stress is now understood to play a major role in conditions like depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, even things like schizophrenia and OCD.
Wow. How does that work? How does rust in the brain lead to feeling depressed or anxious?
Well, it impacts the brain in several ways. First, it directly damages neurons, the brain cells themselves. This disrupts their ability to communicate effectively. Imagine faulty wiring. Messages don't get through properly or they get distorted. This affects everything from thinking clearly and focusing to regulating your emotions. And second, oxidative stress significantly increases inflammation in the brain. We call it neuroinflammation.
Right.
And this neuroinflammation is a huge factor. It's increasingly recognized as a key player in the development and persistence of mood disorders, and also in cognitive decline as we age. It creates a sort of hostile environment for healthy brain function.
Okay, so it damages the cells, disrupts communication, and fuels inflammation. That's quite a cascade. Given all that, how exactly does NAC step in? How does it help protect the brain from this onslaught? Is it cleaning up the rust or preventing it, or?
It's really doing both, and it acts through three main interconnected mechanisms. First, as we said, it directly boosts glutathione.
A master antioxidant.
Exactly. By providing that raw material, cysteine, NAC allows your brain to produce more of its most powerful protector. More glutathione means better defense for neurons, help with repairing existing damage, and better detoxification of harmful stuff in the brain.
Okay, mechanism one,
Mhm.
more glutathione. What else?
Second, NAC itself can directly neutralize free radicals. It doesn't just rely on glutathione. It can act as a scavenger on its own, sort of mopping up those damaging molecules directly.
So it's an antioxidant itself, too.
It has direct antioxidant properties, yes. And third, it actively works to reduce chronic inflammation within the brain. By helping to calm down that neuroinflammatory response, NAC fosters a healthier, more stable environment for brain cells to function properly.
Okay, so boost glutathione, neutralize radicals directly, and reduce inflammation. That's a powerful combo.
It really is. And this combination means NAC isn't just about, say, managing symptoms. The research suggests it might actually help slow down or potentially even support the reversal of some of the damage to brain cells.
Really, reverse damage.
Well, support the brain's natural repair mechanisms. It helps the brain recover from the ongoing strain of stress, fatigue, emotional challenges.
Mm-hmm.
There was a study, for instance, in biological psychiatry. It found that giving NAC to patients with major depressive disorder significantly reduced markers of oxidative stress and led to improvements in their mood symptoms.
That's significant. It suggests it's working on a deeper cellular level, not just masking things.
Precisely. It's about helping to restore a healthier biochemical balance within the brain itself.
Okay, so we've talked mood, depression, anxiety, but you also mentioned cognitive function. For someone listening who's maybe struggling with that feeling of brain fog or memory lapses, difficulty focusing, that kind of mental drag, how does NAC help sharpen thinking?
Right, that's another really important area. NAC supports cognitive function and long-term brain health in ways that directly address that fog. Again, it ties back to those core mechanisms. First, by reducing neuroinflammation. We touched on this, but it's key for cognition. Brain inflammation really gums up the works, interfering with clear thinking, memory recall, even emotional regulation. It can be triggered by so many things: chronic stress, toxins, lack of sleep, diet.
Modern life, basically.
Pretty much. NAC helps by lowering those inflammatory molecules, like cytokines, creating a calmer, clearer internal environment for your brain to operate in.
Okay, less inflammation equals clearer thinking. Makes sense. What else?
Second, NAC is vital for protecting mitochondrial function. Think of mitochondria as the tiny power plants inside all your cells, especially your energy-hungry brain cells.
Right, they make the energy.
Exactly. They produce the ATP, the energy currency the brain needs for everything: processing information, focusing, forming memories. But mitochondria are easily damaged by oxidative stress and just the process of aging.
And damaged power plants mean less energy.
Precisely. Less energy output leads directly to that feeling of mental fatigue, slower thinking, difficulty concentrating. NAC helps protect mitochondria by reducing oxidative damage within the cell, helping maintain that crucial energy supply, and supporting the detox pathways that keep these power plants running efficiently.
So it helps keep the brain's lights on, essentially.
That's a good way to put it. And the third cognitive benefit relates to enhancing synaptic plasticity.
Synaptic plasticity. That's brain flexibility, right? The ability to learn and adapt.
Exactly. It's your brain's amazing ability to change, form new connections between neurons, learn new skills, store memories. It's fundamental to learning and adapting. But chronic stress, inflammation, even imbalances in neurotransmitters can weaken this plasticity.
Making it harder to learn or remember things.
Yes, or making you feel kind of mentally stuck.
Yeah.
NAC seems to help here by modulating glutamate levels. Glutamate is a key neurotransmitter. Think of it as the brain's main on switch, crucial for learning and memory. But too much glutamate activity can be toxic, while too little can impair learning. NAC helps bring glutamate signaling back into balance. This supports healthier communication between brain cells and promotes the repair and formation of synapses, those crucial connection points.
So it's helping the brain communicate better, stay flexible, and keep its energy up while calming inflammation. That covers a lot of ground for cognition.
It really does. And that's why you see NAC being explored, often with promising, though still preliminary, resulting conditions involving significant cognitive decline like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, even recovery from traumatic brain injury. It's targeting these very fundamental processes.
Which, connecting it back to you listening, it really positions NAC as potentially a powerful tool, not just for diagnosed conditions, but maybe for anyone just wanting to stay mentally sharp, focused, and resilient against the stresses of everyday life.
I think that's a fair assessment, yeah. But it addresses those core vulnerabilities.
So let's get a bit more specific then. We touched on depression and anxiety. The sources also highlight some other specific mental health areas where NSE is showing promise. Can you walk us through those?
Sure. Beyond general mood support, NAC is generating interest as an adjunct, meaning used alongside other treatments in a few key areas. We mentioned depression and anxiety. Its antioxidant and glutamate effects seem to offer benefits there. Then there's the area of OCD and related compulsive behaviors. This is quite fascinating. Conditions like obsessive-compulsive disorder, trichotillomania, that's compulsive hair pulling, and even skin picking seem to involve dysregulated glutamate signaling in certain brain circuits.
Ah, the glutamate connection again.
Exactly. And NAC appears to help normalize that glutamate activity, which might explain why studies have shown it can reduce the severity of compulsive behaviors in these conditions.
Interesting. What about addiction?
Yes, that's another area. There's research exploring NAC for various addictive behaviors, including substance use disorders like cocaine dependence, cannabis use disorder, even pathological gambling. Again, the theory often involves glutamate modulation and reducing cravings or compulsive urges. Results are mixed, it's complex, but it's an active area of study.
Okay. And you mentioned neurodegeneration earlier, too.
Right. Its neuroprotective qualities, fighting oxidative stress and inflammation, supporting mitochondria, make it a candidate for potentially helping to prevent or slow down age-related cognitive decline or neurodegenerative diseases, especially where those factors are known to be involved. Think Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. The research is ongoing, but the rationale is strong.
Okay, this all sounds really promising, which inevitably leads to the practical question. If someone's listening and thinking, this sounds relevant to me, what do they need to know about actually taking NIAs? Dosage, safety, that kind of thing.
Absolutely crucial question. So dosage-wise, most of the research uses amounts ranging from, say, 600 milligrams up to about 2,400 milligrams per day.
That's quite a range.
It is. It's often divided into 2 or 3 doses throughout the day. A common starting point might be 600 milligrams once or twice a day, and then potentially increasing it gradually, depending on why you're taking it and how you respond.
And how should you take it? Any tips?
Yeah, a couple of practical things. Taking NAC with food seems to help minimize potential stomach upset, things like nausea or bloating, which are the most common, though usually mild, side effects.
Okay, take with food.
And another point sometimes mentioned is ensuring adequate vitamin C intake. NAC increases cysteine levels, and vitamin C can help prevent that cysteine from oxidizing too readily. It's just a supportive measure.
Right. What about safety, especially long-term? Can you just take this indefinitely?
NAC is generally considered quite safe and well-tolerated for most people, even over longer periods in studies. Those mild GI side effects are the main thing. However, and this is really important, it's essential to talk to your healthcare provider before starting NAC. Absolutely essential, especially if you have certain conditions like asthma. There have been rare reports of it potentially worsening asthma symptoms, or if you're taking other medications.
Like antidepressants.
Definitely discuss it if you're on antidepressants or antipsychotics. Also, blood thinners, NAC, might have mild blood thinning effects. And for long-term use, your doctor might want to monitor things, potentially levels of minerals like zinc and copper, as very high NAC doses over time could theoretically affect their balance.
So consultation is key. Don't just add it in without checking.
Absolutely. It can often be combined beneficially with other supplements, things like magnesium, vitamin D, maybe L-theanine, but interactions, especially with prescription meds, need professional guidance.
Okay, very important caveat. Now, if someone starts taking it, how long does it usually take to notice any effects, particularly for mood? It doesn't sound like an overnight miracle cure.
No, definitely not. Patience is important with NAC. While some people might report feeling subtle improvements within, say, 1 or 2 weeks, most of the clinical studies show significant benefits, especially for mood or compulsive behaviors, emerging after about 6 to 12 weeks of consistent daily use.
6 to 12 weeks. Okay, so you need to stick with it.
Yes. It's working on rebalancing underlying processes, boosting glutathione stores.
Sure.
That takes time. It's more of a gradual shift than an immediate effect.
Right. And one last comparison point. We hear about other antioxidants like alpha-lipoic acid or the classic vitamin C and E. How does NAC really differentiate itself? What makes it stand out from that crowd?
That's a great question because it highlights NAC's unique edge. What makes NAC stand out is its dual action.
Dual action.
Yes. It powerfully tackles oxidative stress, primarily by being that direct precursor to glutathione, the body's master antioxidant. That's huge, boosting your internal defenses like that. Other antioxidants like C and E are great scavengers, and ALA helps recycle them, but NAC directly fuels glutathione production.
Okay, so the glutathione link is key. What's the other part of the dual action?
The other part is its ability to modulate neurotransmitter balance, specifically glutamate.
Ah, right, the learning and mood neurotransmitter.
Exactly. Most other antioxidants don't have that direct impact on neurotransmitter systems. So NAC offers this unique combination. Powerful antioxidant support plus help with balancing crucial brain signaling pathways involved in mood, focus, and compulsion. That synergy is what makes it particularly compelling for both brain health and emotional well-being. It's a real multitasker.
That makes sense. A multitasker for the brain.
Yeah.
Okay, so wrapping this up, based on everything we've explored today, all these mechanisms, when might someone listening seriously consider adding NAC to their wellness strategy? What are the key scenarios?
Well, you might consider talking to your doctor about NAC if you're consistently struggling with things like low mood, or that persistent brain fog, or maybe anxiety that hasn't responded well enough to other approaches. It's also worth considering if you're interested in proactive strategies for brain aging, looking for that neuroprotective support. Or, as we discussed, if you're dealing with compulsive behaviors, maybe OCD tendencies, hair pulling, skin picking, or even looking for additional support alongside treatment for certain addictive patterns.
Yeah.
And fundamentally, if you feel like you need deeper support recovering from the effects of chronic stress or systemic inflammation, NAC targets those underlying issues directly.
So it really comes across not just as another supplement, but as a potentially powerful, multi-pronged ally for regulating mood, protecting the brain over the long haul, and building emotional resilience. And importantly, backed by a growing body of science.
Yeah, that sums it up well. The research is certainly pointing in that direction.
Okay, so we leave you with this thought. We live in a world where feeling mentally well, focused, and resilient can sometimes feel incredibly complex, like this giant puzzle with missing pieces.
But maybe, just maybe, understanding these fundamental biochemical processes, understanding how something like NAC works at a cellular level to boost defenses and balance brain chemistry offers a surprisingly direct path. Think about it. What could change if you started nurturing your brain right down at that deep cellular level, giving it the specific tools it needs, like NAC, to better manage stress, maintain energy, and keep its signals clear? How might that fundamentally shift your day-to-day experience of focus, mood, and overall mental clarity? Something to consider.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.